I am Lindsey Simsick, and I am one half of the Almost 30 podcast.
And I'm Krista Williams, and I'm the other half of the Almost 30 podcast. Almost 30 started, 2.5, 3 years ago when Lindsey and I first met here in LA after a series of weird events that brought us together. And when we met, we just started to have these really deep, meaningful conversations about the transitions we were going through. The transitions that happen in your 20s when you're moving cities, you're graduating college, or trying to figure out your career, your relationships, who you are, finances. There's so many different things that are happening in your 20s and early 30s that we wanted to talk about, and we wanted to bring the conversation to light. So, one day at Bulletproof Coffee, I said, do you think we could start a podcast? And she said yes, and she was down, and 6.5 months of recording on her closet floor and getting tons of audio that we'll never use. We launched Almost 30, and now it's grown into a community of women all over the world.
I'm most proud of the moments when I've been really fearless and not worried about what other people thought about it, what I was doing. I did things even when my parents didn't think I could do it, or my friends thought it was weird, or we did things together where, people were like, you can make a living doing podcasting? Like,
you're
what
gonna go
is
on tour?
Yeah, so it's just that fearlessness is something I'm really proud to keep cultivating. It's not always, the strongest, but I really remind myself that those moments that I was definitively fearless, that I can recreate that whenever I want. To be able to create an environment for people to learn and grow within the Almost 30 business is something we're really passionate about as well. We meet role models and mentors all the time, and it's kind of like, it's not a revolving door per se, but I'm just inspired by certain people for certain reasons every single day through the podcast. We're interviewing them all the time. They're incredible humans changing the world and really living, their purpose on this earth. And so that alone is inspiring to us.
I try to find something that is inspiring in each person, and we're so lucky with the podcast that we interview with and connect with amazing people, whether it's our community or our guests. And there are so many different aspects of them that inspire me, whether it's their authenticity, maybe they're super dynamic, maybe they're super engaging, super charismatic, whatever it is. I try to, find inspiration each time that we talk to someone.
My life hack, I've always been someone who moves and finds expression in movement, and piggybacking off of that, I find expression in vocalizing, so singing in that way. So I try to schedule in some playtime in that way. So whether it's working out, taking a walk, dancing in my apartment, singing in the shower, singing in the car, whatever it is, it helps me to move any blocks I'm experiencing, gets me out of my head, and it's free. Anyone can do it, usually at any time. So most people are just worried about what they're gonna look like or sound like, and if you're doing it alone, it doesn't matter.
Honoring the kid in you.
It's really hard for me to stay on task, I'll be completely honest with you, because I want to be doing so many things at once. And when I'm working on one thing, I'm thinking about how I haven't finished the other thing. So it's very hard. One, I use Evernote to create a checklist, simple. And then two, just creating a ritual around sitting down and doing work. So that's making a tea or a coffee and lighting a candle. It's so stupid sounding, but for me, it's just telling myself, here we go, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be enjoyable and productive, and you're gonna love it. Work-life balance, it changes every day. Some days feel more balanced than others, and I just think it's being flexible enough for those ebbs and flows of resting, recovering, and really going full throttle into the work. We're young enough and energetic enough to be doing that. I know that as we grow and we get older and we have, lucky enough to have families of our own, get married, do all of these things, that it'll shift, naturally. But right now we are in a season of getting it done and really making this something that can sustain us for a long time.
To push through when times get tough, it's really important to remember the why behind you doing what you're doing. I've never lost sight of why we're doing Almost 30. Staying true to our mission and values has been something that's been near and dear to my heart. So for me, it doesn't ever stop me from, figuring things out or going through the hard times or the feedback or whatever it is that's going on in the business that's challenging. My why is greater than that, and my why is the reason that I keep going.
For someone just starting out, I would say focus on your strengths and what you're good at. I spent a lot of time focusing on what I couldn't do, what I wasn't good at, what I didn't have yet, and that just wasted a lot of time.
What's next for Almost 30? This year we're going on tour, so we have a bunch of events in a bunch of different cities. We're going international, which we are so excited about. Looking forward to meeting everyone in person and creating and cultivating community similar to the one that we've done with Almost 30 in LA. We're excited to just meet with everyone in person and grow the brand.